graduation day came. So over 500 students graduated the day I did. And I remember the students going through on the platform in the football stadium. They'd go through and the coach would shake their hand. They'd go on through. I remember, the principal would shake their hand. He's a little bitty, little redheaded fellow, stocky, about this big. They'd come through. His name was Lanning, I think. They'd come through and shake his hand. And I remember he would do just like this. He'd hand that diploma, shake their hand, they would go. He'd hand that diploma, shake their hand, they would go. There was hundreds and hundreds of people. The whole football stadium was full of people, hundreds of people. And I remember those students coming through, and as fast as he could, he would hand them that diploma, shake their hand, pat them on the back. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. I walked up on that platform, and I held my hand out, and he placed that diploma in my hand, and I shook his hand and started to walk off. He grabbed my hand and pulled me all the way back and stopped the whole thing. I don't even know if the man was a Christian. I don't know anything about him. But he leaned down, put his hand right here in my ear. And he said, son, we're sure going to miss you around here. And he patted me on the back.
How about that?
The procession kept on. Amen. I had no idea that even the principal's office and the people and the teachers were having conferences and they were talking about me in their conferences. They never had to worry about where my homework was. They had to worry about what my conduct was. Yeah. I had my name wrote on the board one time in 3 years, and I cried because the teacher wrote my name. I talked out of turn one time and she wrote my name, and I cried and I said, God, I'm sorry. I'm a Christian and I got a better testimony than that, and I'm sorry that I got my name on the board and it won't put it in. When I graduated, I had no idea that many people's lives had been touched. Yeah. Because one little boy put a King James Bible under his arm and stayed with the stuff.
That's it.
I told you about a little boy last night. I'm fixing to close. I told you about a little boy last night who came on our bus and got saved, a little Laotian boy. Man, he got on fire for God. I mean, he was on fire. And they said, preacher, he carries his Bible to school every day and witnesses to everybody. Graduation, Alexander Central High School. They said that little Laotian boy took the King James Bible under his arm like this. He waited to go through and get his diploma, and somebody said, what are you doing with that Bible? And he said, if my preacher can do it, I can do it too. Amen. Amen. Across that stage and took his diploma and walked through there with a Bible in his hand. And he lived for Jesus all through high school because he said, if my preacher can do it, I can do it too. Amen. Amen. Kids, I want to say this. I don't know how to tell you this. I cannot tell you how God has blessed my life. Amen. Amen. What I did in high school years ago. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. When I was 21 years old, I had everything in life I ever wanted at 21 years old. It was all mine. There's absolutely nothing in this world that I want today. Nothing! I have everything that I have ever wanted. Every once in a while, the Lord will just remind me. 2 years ago, I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte, and I preached there for a young man. He called me. I went to high school with him. He called me, and I thought, man, I can't believe he's a preacher. He didn't live for God in high school. He wasn't even saved. I can't believe he's a preacher. He said, why don't you come preach a youth meeting? I went down to his church. I started to get up and preach, and he got up behind the pulpit, and he stood just like this, and he began to weep. And he said, kids, he was telling his kids this. He said, kids, he carried his Bible every day. And he said this, he'll never know what an effect it had on my life. Amen. Amen. That's good. I'm talking 20 years later, man. Somebody's still talking about a little boy that carried a King James Bible in school and lived right and would run with the crowd. That's right. Amen. He would sit alone in a lunch corner or sit at the table at lunch and bow my head and say my blessing. When I'd raise my head up, I'd see kids pointing and laughing. I raised my head up one day just like this. I reached for my fork and a hand grabbed my shoulder like this. And I looked up and it was the masonry teacher, an older man, almost retired age. He bent down and he said, son, I don't know your name, and I admire what you just did. Amen. And he just walked away. I'm talking about a difference that a little country boy can have on hundreds of lives. I preach every week live on the World Wide Web, all over the world, on 4 different radio stations, every week of my life. God has blessed me so much.
Amen.
Amen.
He's paid me over and over and over and over. Just like Ornan when he gave everything he had. God paid him for it and paid him more than he deserved and paid him more than he ever wanted. I'm talking about God's been good to me. If there's some young person who just grab a hold of this and say, God, it's me. I'm yours. And I'm talking about through the hard times and all of it. You just grit your teeth and say, Lord, 100%.
Amen.
And there's not going to be any preacher there at public school to pat you on the back. Your friends here at church is not going to be there to say, yeah, keep going. You'll be alone by yourself. And it takes a character that most of the world don't have. Say this, God, whatever you gave him in 1986,
Amen.
Amen.
whatever it was you gave that preacher, give it to me. I give it all. Let's bow our heads for prayer.